What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. And in this video, I will take you guys through my transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 11. So Game Week 11, fast here approaching. I know Game Week 10 hasn't even finished yet. Still do have the fixture tonight. But please remember that the Game Week 11 deadline will be happening on Friday evening, might be Saturday morning or Friday afternoon, depending where you guys are around the world. So please make sure that you guys do set an alarm for the Game Week deadline, as I don't want any kind of tears when transfers aren't made. That's exactly what we will be talking about for my own team in this video, my transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 11. Going to take a quick review of Game Week 10, see how the squad got on, was it a green arrow, was it a red arrow, and all that good stuff. And then going to head straight into the transfer plan that might be a little bit of a decisive captaincy switch. So that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So the first talking point I just want to remind you guys about is that yes, we do still have the Game Week 11 fixture. It's going to be Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest coming up on Monday. But we also have some other midweek football happening with the European competitions. So the Champions League, the Europa League, the Conference League, probably going to focus more around the Champions League as we probably own more of those options. Now what I will say is that we are kind of approaching the latter stages of the group stages, and therefore teams like a Man City have already basically wrapped up qualification. They do face Copenhagen away. I'm expecting some rotation there. KDB was rotated in last midweek's fixture. Probably he will start, whereas I'm expecting Haaland maybe to be benched. The reason I'm saying that is that Man City do face Liverpool on the weekend, and therefore there might be some rotation in the Champions League, or at least I do hope so, as that'll make my captaincy and my transfer decisions a lot easier. Now there are some other teams playing there. A Spurs, you might want to bring in a Spurs asset, a Sonic Kane. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Then obviously all the other teams where I don't think too much focus will be on them for Game Week 11. So just make sure that you are monitoring kind of playing time, injury news, all that good stuff. And come Thursday, Friday's press conferences, make sure that you guys can react quickly to those Friday night deadlines. But now going on to the actual team review of Game Week 10, and as you guys can see, bottom right hand side, always a good sign when you guys do see green instead of red. So nice little rank rise, 72 points overall. Just remember there are kind of games still coming up. Aston Villa's Nottingham Forest coming up Monday, and I'm actually recording this during the United Everton game, so who kind of knows what's going to happen there with the ranks. But don't worry, I will update you guys as I always do on my team selection come Thursday or probably Wednesday afternoon. So those 72 points managed to give me a rank rise to just below the 430k mark. Not exactly the biggest green arrow I've had, but still nice to be within the top 500k come Game Week 11. Now do let me know how you guys actually got on for Game Week 10. Was it a massive kind of green arrow? Was it a massive red arrow? If you own Salah, Trent, how frustrated are you at the current moment? And did anyone actually not captain Erling Haaland? Now the bottom right hand side is going to give you guys some clarity into my transfer plan for the upcoming week. One free transfer and 2.0 million in the bank, so we've got some fat stacks there to make a nice upgrade, but will we actually do it? But going back to Game Week 10, going to start off on our bench as we always do. Danny Ward with a 1-point appearance. When I did see Newcastle conceding to Brentford quite early on, they did concede a penalty. I was a little bit worried about Danny Ward actually getting a clean sheet. On our bench yet again for another game week with points. That wasn't the case though. Unfortunately, Leicester kind of crumbled to Bournemouth in the second half. So only 1-point appearance for Danny Ward, so apologies if you guys did start him, but I guess the risk was always going to be there. Now Kurt Zouma was our preference over Andreas Pereira. I just kind of believed if Mitrovic is going to be out from that attack, I did favour the kind of defence of West Ham. So what goes and happens, Andreas Pereira, the option on my bench, second on the bench, ends up scoring against my first bench option. Now Kurt Zouma will definitely be coming on. I'll talk about Mitrovic a little bit later on, but I wanted to show you the exact kind of team selection prior to the deadline and what actually happened there. So obviously having Andreas Pereira second on my bench was going to be a mistake, but honestly believed that without Mitrovic, the attack would be nullified. So not beating myself up too much about that, but if you guys did have Andreas Pereira that came off your bench, you're probably quite happy. Then the final option, Neco Williams, always going to be third on my bench. Don't even know if he's going to start later on Monday night, but I do hope he does because I really need him for the upcoming game weeks. But now going to our starting 11, and I've already touched on kind of Nick Pope, only 2 points. But I will say, when I did see that Brentford got a penalty, my eyes kind of lit up. I dream of kind of a goalkeeper save on a penalty. That wasn't the case though. Ivan Toney sent him the wrong way, and he ended up only with 2 points. But what I will say about Nick Pope and the Newcastle defence in general is that they've been super frustrating to actually own. No clean sheets in the last 3 game weeks when they've had relatively easy opposition. Now some of those game weeks have been easier than others. Obviously Brentford was a little bit of a tough game, but when you are winning 5-1, why can't you just win 5-0? So a little bit sad about Nick Pope not getting any clean sheets from our Game Week 8 wildcard, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and hopefully you can get some from now till Game Week 16. Now moving on to the rest of our defense, I'm going to start off quite hot with Cancelo, a massive 18-point haul. If you guys did sell Cancelo, I don't really know what to say to you because it was a very easy fixture in my opinion, Southampton at home. So if you know FPL experts actually advised you. So Cancelo ended the fixture with a clean sheet, a goal, an assist, and also 3 bonus points. And I have actually seen some managers captain him over Erling Haaland. But we weren't that lucky, but lucky enough to own him, and his ownership is still at a relatively low margin, and that's why I definitely look to bring him in come Game Week 13. But it's interesting to see that last week we were kind of talking about Cancelo and his lack of attacking threat. What does he go and do? Gets a Champions League attacking return. Now he gets 2 in Game Week 10. I couldn't be more happier. I was also pretty happy with Trippier ending the fixture with 7 points, got 2 bonus points, an assist, and then just the 2 appearance points. As with Nick Pope, Newcastle lost the clean sheet. But what we will say is that we'll just say got a clean sheet and 1 bonus point because I'm pretty happy with that. 7 points against Brentford is always nice. And that's why Trippier has been a massive delight to own since that GameWeek wildcard. Now, unfortunately, the same can't be said about the next option, Reece James. Only 1 point appearance. I can't really blame Reece James. I'm going to blame Graham Potter instead because Wolves at home was an absolute plump fixture from a defensive point of view. I mean, in the ultimate guides, we've been saying how Wolves have been struggling to score. So what does Potter go and do? He goes and benches Reece James, but brings him on late into the fixture when the win was already secured. So I was quite unhappy with him, and if he didn't start, would have had Andreas Pereira off my bench, so he would have been 5 points in the game. But it is what it is at the end of the day. A little bit unlucky that they didn't start him, but hopefully he will start the majority of games upcoming. Now moving into our midfield department, going to start off with Kevin De Bruyne, and even though Man City scored a bunch of goals, Kevin De Bruyne only got 1 assist, which is pretty disappointing. I mean, considering his price tag, when you do compare him to someone like a Phil Foden, same team, outperforming him at a much cheaper price point, De Bruyne might not be actually worth his value. But at least he is kind of outperforming Mo Salah at the moment. Do apologize if you guys do own him. 2 hard game weeks in a row for you Salah owners. So at least De Bruyne did get 6 points. Now moving on to Maddison, pretty quiet game from Maddison, however I do think he should have got at least 1 assist in that fixture. Leicester kind of the polar opposite against Nottingham Forest. Great chances against Bournemouth, not too many. We were super lackluster in the second half. And then Maddison also racks up a yellow card. And that yellow card is super important because he currently is on 4 yellow cards. And if he gets to the 5th, he is suspended for 1 fixture. So let's hope that it's not going to come in the short term. Maybe come game week 13 if you guys watch the deadline stream. Planning to do Maddison out to Foden, or maybe even a Saka come game week 13. So I do really need him to play game week 12. So we'll be holding thumbs for no yellow card in game week 11, and I'll continue that hope into the team selection later this week. Then moving on to Martinelli, and unfortunately, this is kind of with tears in my eyes as a Liverpool fan. Martinelli racking up a goal and an assist, and overall had a pretty great game. So it just shows you how great value Martinelli is at the current moment on the Game Week 8 wildcard. We weren't going to take him out. I advised you guys to keep him if you guys are wildcarding Game Week 9. Just such good value for money, and if you guys did take him out this week, for maybe someone like a Zaha or a Bowen, that's a little bit unfortunate. But at least it's a nice fixture in Game Week 11, then unfortunately does blank though, so I can understand why you guys did sell him. Now the final play in our midfield is going to be quite a talking point here, so the one free transfer I used for Game Week 10 was going to be Saka out for Zaha in. Now on paper that move looked absolutely splendid. Saka was playing Liverpool, hadn't exactly performed the best over the prior game weeks. Zaha was playing Leeds at home, great fixture on paper, but unfortunately only got 1 assist and then Saka gets 2 goals. Now the 1 goal was a penalty, which I guess is a little bit lucky, but having the penalty taken from Arsenal is always going to give you points. So that Saka to Zaha move cost me 10 points. Now yes, obviously hindsight is intact, but it would have been super nice to own that extra 10 points, especially with Saka having Leeds away next week. But I guess it is what it is. Maybe Wilfried Zaha from now till Game Week 16 can outperform Saka, which I really do hope so, as I did make that transfer. But you guys can roast me in the comments down below if you guys did stick with it. One of our Discord members actually missed the price rise of Zaha and then decided to keep Saka, so you guys can see where the luck element comes into account. Now the final department to go over is going to be our forwards, and we just start off with our captain Erling Haaland. Was always going to captain Haaland, had a massive kind of effective ownership, only 6 points doubled to 12, so not the massive score we expected, but still he's ticking along quite nicely. Now I guess the thing about Haaland is if you guys did go for an alternative, hopefully not Salah, maybe a De Bruyne, a Cancelo, that would have reaped the rewards, and now you guys can see that there is potential to actually have differential captains. But I guess you might have got a little bit lucky if you did go for a differential this week because Erling Haaland had a few chances, even hitting the inner post on 1. So he's going nowhere in our team, but there might be a little bit of a switcheroo, kind of transferring him out, bringing him back in for Game Week 13 that I'll talk about later on. Then our second forward to talk over is going to be Mitrovic. Wasn't in the squad at all for Fulham, so I'm waiting for an update from the Fulham manager to see if he is going to be back for Game Week 11, as he does have Bournemouth at home, which is a very nice fixture. But now you guys can see that Kurt Zuma will be coming on for Mitrovic, but that's not going to affect the 72 total points. Then our final forward to go over, a massive prince of our forward department. It's going to be Solanke from Bournemouth. 2 assists, massive threat there at 5.7 million. And if you guys don't have him, we're probably pretty salty. But what more needs to be said about Solanke? We said he's the Giga Chad transfer, outperforms Tony, I think, yet again. And at his cheap price point, that's all that I need. So super happy that I did this transfer, as he was quite a nice performer, and hopefully he can continue this attacking form into these nice Bournemouth fixtures. But as you guys can see, 72 points is made up of the starting 11. Let me know how you guys got on for Game Week 10. Was it a green arrow, a red arrow? How many total points did you get? And what transfers are you potentially looking for Game Week 11? But now going on to our actual transfer plan for the upcoming game week. And first of all, the most kind of conservative option is going to be to bank a transfer for this week. Not too many options I'm too fond of. If I want to captain Erling Haaland, simply going to hope that Man City do well against Liverpool, because Liverpool's defensive form is terrible. Man City are doing super well, and therefore you could actually get a massive haul. So that's generally what Game Week 11 comes down to, is that if you guys do want to go for a differential captain, then you're probably going to make a transfer. If you're not though, then you're probably going to bank the transfer. Now, if I was to go more Maverick and I want to captain a differential, if I think that Liverpool Man City is going to be a super tight game, I can't see Haaland doing that well, then there is a chance that I have penciled in. Now, if you guys did watch my kind of Game Week 8 wildcard, the plan penciled in for Game Week 12 was going to be De Bruyne to Salah. I also was potentially looking at maybe a Trent in, but now with Liverpool's defensive form and because he is currently injured, I do have one free transfer in the bank to maybe spend. So that's what I was talking about, these switcheroos. For example, if I want to take Kevin De Bruyne out, what I could actually do is take KDB out for this Liverpool and the blank and then go to Heung-min Son. So Son will purely be in here for Game Week 11 alone. I could then move him to Salah come Game Week 12 if I don't like the United fixture for Spurs, but also could just stick with Heung-min Son if Salah's going to continue his bad form. Now, the only reason why I would actually do this transfer is if I do want to captain Heung-min Son over Haaland, but as I said, that might be a little bit of a stretch with Spurs' bad attacking form and Haaland's incredible form. But I won't rule this move out of question because I do think it's a sensible one if you guys don't want to captain Erling Haaland. Now, there is another move in terms of captaincy that might be slightly more risky, and it's actually going to be taking Erling Haaland out. But don't worry, like KDB, this will be for kind of a switcheroo. We'll take Haaland out for Game Week 11, Game Week 12's blank, and bring him probably back in for Game Week 13. So if you guys are predicting that maybe a better option to go for in that forward department is going to be the premium forward Harry Kane, this could be a move for you. Now, I just think it has to be super Maverick because if you're going to go against Erling Haaland's ownership already, let's just say that you don't captain him. Yes, you do own him, but imagine not even owning him and he hauls on a captaincy. So that's what I'm saying, absolute Maverick move there, super risky, but if you do consider this to be quite valuable, the effective gains could be absolutely massive. So bring in Kane for Game Week 11, captain him, keep him Game Week 12 against United away, then you can make the decision to keep him against Newcastle at home or move him to Haaland for that Brighton home game. Now, what I will say is that please make sure that you have enough money in the bank to actually afford Haaland back in. I will say for my own team, if I'm not going to look at Trent, I have so much money left in the bank because now KDB to Salah is about 0.4 million. But I want to warn you guys again, this is very risky and I probably won't go for this. I think if I don't want to captain Haaland, I'll probably just go for Heung-min Son and just at least keep him in case he does bang. But let me know what you guys think about these transfers. The most sensible one is probably just to bank captain Haaland, hope that Man City do well against Liverpool, which they probably will, or you can do one of these more Maverick moves of Son or Kane in, or any other differential captain that you guys can think of. But let me know what your thoughts are on these moves as well as your own transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 11. But this is basically wrap the video, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. Please like it if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys with tons of content coming up till that Friday night deadline that hopefully you guys do remember. But I'm only signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.